Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Welcome to the TMZ Podcast. Harvey Levin here.
Charlie Knapp here.
Kourtney here.
And Fabian here.
So, we got video that the FBI now has, and it is video of what looks, I'm not saying it is, but it looks like Brian Laundrie, and it is shot about 3 hours from his parents' home in Florida.
Right.
And what's interesting about this video is that this is a very remote area. It's filled with brush. It's by itself. It's not like other people are around there. And the only reason the owner of the property found out is because there's surveillance video that he happened to see, and the dude looks kind of like Laundrie.
So I want to slightly push back a little bit because the video, look, it's grainy. It's from afar. When we zoom in, you see some scruff. You see a beard. It's hard to make out any other real facial features.
But what's interesting about this, though, is that in the video, you see this guy riding a bicycle. And so the guy that's riding the bicycle is like swerving all over, which kind of seems like either A, this bicycle is broken and
Right.
someone is so desperate to get on the move that he is using a broken bike,
Right.
or B, we know that this trail is soft sand. So
Right.
it could be that this person is not
just
able
having
to
a hard
drive
time
straight.
pedaling.
Right, because he's on soft sand. But one more thing, he is wearing a backpack
It's
and
huge.
heavy clothing, which is strange
And
for
that this is
Florida.
where I'll say, even though like it's hard to for sure say with any certainty, basically that this is Brian Laundrie, the context clues are what potentially
Yeah.
make it seem
Make
so.
it-
To me, the backpack is so relevant.
the
because
heavy clothing.
if
He's
you're-
wearing a cap to potentially cover his bald head under there.
But didn't you
but-
guys always think since his parents took so long and like gave him 2 days that he would be way farther than
Yes,
3
and-
hours
and-
away from his parents' home?
and that's
I
another
feel
thing.
like Mexico, Canada.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought too. But I got to say, I want to get back to this backpack because I think it's really significant. If you're riding a bike and just out for the day, and you have a backpack on, it's going to be a much smaller backpack
Right.
than the one that it's just filled.
It
with
looks like he's
stuff.
delivering food back there or
It is
something on a Postmates run or something.
Yeah.
Right, but it's filled with
It's
stuff.
huge.
And you don't ride a bike that way. This is more somebody who's out living in that area.
And more importantly, we learn from the guy whose video this belongs to. It belongs to us now, but this video, this owner, nobody goes on that trail. Hardly anybody visits that area. So here comes this random lone straggler out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and
It's very
it's
questionable.
It is very suspicious.
But we should say there has been a ton of cases of mistaken identity. Everyone thinks they've
Yeah.
seen Brian.
Well-
like I thought I saw Brian Laundrie at my gym last night.
Brian Laundrie. Oh my God.
But I mean, that's the way cases get solved. There are 1,000 dead ends, and then all of a sudden they strike gold. And the other thing is that the area that the FBI has been looking at has not produced a shred of evidence
Right.
showing that Laundrie was there. Not a gum wrapper, nothing.
He seems to
Well,
have vanished in thin air, basically.
Well, Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I think differently.
Dog the Bounty Hunter found that monster
But we
can,
don't know
remember?
that's
We don't know
him.
that's his.
Right.
And a campsite,
But we don't
which
know that's his.
was linked
Right.
to him.
All I'm saying is that, you know, the FBI, for whatever reason, thinks he was there. I honestly, what? Okay.
Why would he be?
No, and if the parents really were delaying while he made his move or whatever else for 2 days, why would they then lead the FBI to that very area? Unless he escaped from the area, but why go through that charade and just say, we don't know where he is?
It's the whole thing is weird, and this surveillance video was taken 9 days ago, I think, on October 9th, and he went missing,
a month
ago,
before.
like
Yeah.
at least a full month ago.
Yeah.
So going back to your point, why, if this is in fact him, why would you only be 3 hours away from home?
because maybe they're supplying him with food
unless
and
it's
water.
strategic. He's thinking, people think I'm so far. People think I'm in Canada. Little do they know I'm actually right here in my own backyard. That'd be like if you went missing in Sacramento and showed up in Chico or something like that.
Chico.
Over the course of like a month and a
But-
half.
and
Random
Random.
cities.
I do want to say
I'm
one
from
other thing.
Sac. I'm sorry.
I want to say one other thing, that if he went to Canada,
Right.
I mean, this is worldwide news. And I don't know where Brian Laundrie could go at this point. What he could do is find an area that nobody goes to, and somebody might be supplying him with food and water and whatever else, and that might explain this huge backpack. Again, I'm not saying this is him,
Right.
but
It kind of
there's
looks like him.
there's
I mean,
reason for the FBI to look at this.
100%.
Of
They
course.
haven't told us what they think, whether they believe it.
They probably
whether
won't tell us either.
And they won't. And they will
Right.
not tell us. But it just feels to me, because you're right. I mean, I get it. I thought he would go to Canada or Mexico too. But the more I thought about it, you're in Canada. They have television in Canada.
Right.
They have the internet in Canada. This
Right.
guy's face is everywhere. I just don't think he can be in a general population anywhere at this point.
No, but then if he was in this area, wouldn't the guy got him on camera more than one time? Like, right? Wouldn't he be riding the bike and going?
I mean,
through,
that's
like,
a fair
those
point.
woods?
Maybe he was just
Not
passing through because
necessarily, yeah.
supposedly
What do you mean,
this
3 hours away, just passing
well,
through?
this property is
It's
a
a
ton. It's a
big
remote,
property.
rural
Yeah.
area, tons of acreage. Maybe he was just passing, going. Who knows where he was going?
And,
I don't know.
and
Right.
maybe the owner of the
And he
property
didn't think
hasn't
there was
looked
a
at all the
camera in
video.
sight or something
Yeah.
like that. I have no idea. But
Okay, we're going to move on. Kourtney and Travis.
Oh, boy.
Ugh.
Oh, you guys
lo-
hate love.
I love this story. I really love this story because, look, I mean, I did a show with Travis a couple of years ago and ended up at his house, and it's a beautiful house.
nice guy.
Great guy.
Okay,
I love him.
makes me feel a little better.
He is a
He is a great
he
guy.
is
I
a
read his book.
great guy.
His eyes are stunning.
But I mean,
cares about
he's just his spirit, his personality, and just what he overcame with his plane crash.
Right.
Right.
And I was looking at this house and I said, God, Travis, this is beautiful. And he told me at the time, and this was a couple of years ago, that Kourtney helped him design it. And I said, really?
And this is when they were just friends at the time,
Mhm.
right?
they were
Right.
just friends.
Okay.
And he told me, he said they're very close. Their kids play together. They've kind of grown up together. And they've always been close. And so the more I started thinking about it, the more I thought it's really kind of the perfect way of creating a relationship.
Be
Yeah.
friends first, develop
That's
that
the
kind
ideal
of
thing, obviously,
backstory,
for
and
sure.
then get romantic.
You know who's not happy?
Besides me.
Besides
Both
you.
their exes.
Yeah. God, they are really.
Yikes.
So let's talk about the latest thing because we know they got engaged. We broke that story. I think that the following day they were still in Montecito, right outside the hotel. There are these train tracks that are apparently part of this hotel. It's part of the whole layout and the decor and whatnot.
Instagram spot, really
it's an
cool
Instagram
to
coupley
see.
spot, and as corny as they are when it comes to PDA and just hamming it up for whatever, they were out on the train tracks taking these, these photos.
She's got the ring on.
She got the ring on.
Okay,
which
are you shading the fact that they're on a train track?
I'm shading that, but also let's talk about Kourtney's outfit in these
Outfit. I
photos.
can't handle her.
Wait, hold on,
outfit.
hold on. Before we get to the outfit,
Okay,
I want to correct you on something.
all right.
They didn't just drive around and find a train track.
I know.
This
I
is
know. It was
thi-
like right
At
next
the
door.
hotel.
well, no,
It's
no,
a
no,
it's
no.
in the
This
hotel.
It's
this
in
is
the
a
hotel?
hotel. It's called the Miramar Hotel in Montecito. This is where Oprah lives, and Megan and Harry.
Yes.
And so the Miramar used to be kind of dumpy. Rick Caruso, who is the owner of the Grove, bought the Miramar Hotel. And this train track was an eyesore. It ruined the hotel.
Mm.
He brilliantly, I mean, this is just brilliant.
Incorporated it into
Absolutely. He just,
It's part of the charm.
it is so part of the charm, and it's part of the hotel. It's like literally in the middle of the grounds, but it's so cool the way he's created this.
All right.
So they just walked over. They were on
I
the
see.
ground.
So they didn't venture out to go
Right.
seek
No.
it.
That's right.
Oh, honey, let's go find some
Right.
crossroad. Okay, so that makes me
But
feel a little
even
bit.
if she was still had spikes all around her sweatshirt, and that's not
Yes.
the Kourtney Kardashian style.
And that's-
she has
transformed.
changed
changed.
to be more like him.
Which I should say is kind of like
Brad
it's
Pitty.
lame. It's lame.
It's
like
not lame.
Couples
is
do
lame.
that though.
But
They
to-
start like transforming into
if you
each
lose
other.
a sense of yourself.
Have you ever had
a
a girlfriend who like influenced you to do so?
Yeah. I mean,
What's the
like,
difference?
I
Wow.
like to. I mean, at my
He's single
core,
now.
no,
Yeah.
I am single. At my core, I'm always who I am, and I don't really change my.
So
Well,
why
see,
do you think
style
she's
or
all
anything
it
like
is
that.
all it is clothes.
It's
I mean, why are you
style.
saying it's just clothes?
I know, but the thing is, she didn't wear these clothes before, so why is she wearing them now? Is it to appease him? Is it just to like?
The
I
changing
mean, what
of
is
the
it?
style is weird. To like your views
agree.
and like ideas, I understand how like your partner influences you,
Sure.
but your style.
Yes.
Yeah,
to
you
go
That's weird.
appreciate.
Do
You
you
have a
feel-
new appreciation for fashion.
And did you feel the
For
same way about
spikes?
Brad
Yeah.
Pitt? Brad Pitt's like a chameleon every time he dates somebody.
Gwyneth
That's true.
Paltrow, they like look the same.
it looked,
True.
he cut his hair.
It's
Yep.
so weird.
Yeah.
The
So I mean,
sunglasses.
So shame on him too, by the way.
oh come on.
Aw.
And by the way, she's really influenced him.
Yeah.
Travis vowed never to fly again.
Oh yeah.
And she's helped him overcome one of the great fears of his life.
Yeah.
And it's opened up a world to Travis.
That's a
so
good
they both
point.
influenced each other.
The one last thing I'll say about this, even though I tend to kind of poo-poo their PDA, which I do think is a little much,
Mhm.
the fact is, like, people don't, I would imagine people don't act like that unless you're head over heels in
In
love. You
love.
have to be.
Like they
No.
seem
They're
like
acting
soulmates.
They're acting like kids. And if you act like a kid in love at 15 or whatever, you are clearly in love. They're clearly in love. So
Good for them.
Yeah,
Good
sure.
for
I mean, good for them.
People ham it up for the camera.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
I can set this one up.
Yeah, but I'm just going to say this really pisses me off.
Ugh. So more drama in the Spears family. This
Okay.
time with Jamie Lynn, Britney's younger sister. So basically, Jamie Lynn came out. She said that she's going to be coming out with a new book called Things I Should Have Said. And she said that part of the proceeds from that book was going to go to a nonprofit, which is like a mental health nonprofit.
Right.
So now this nonprofit is separating themselves from Jamie Lynn after they got a ton of backlash from the Free Britney movement.
Rejected the money.
They're
rejected the
saying
money.
they don't want any part
So
of
were
the
they
money.
going to take the money before all the backlash?
So that's the
Yeah.
that's where it's unclear. So you could argue, well, they didn't know. Like Jamie Lynn probably just randomly mentioned them and said, "I'm donating to this charity," and who knows if she coordinated them with them or not ahead of time. I think she did. I don't think you just randomly shout out an organization without at least approaching them and saying, "Hey,
Right.
you want to get on board with this?"
And
I
their,
think
their
that they
statement
knew.
kind of sounds like there was a plan in place
Right.
because they said, so the organization is called This Is My Brave. So they said, we hear you. This Is My Brave was recently recommended to be a beneficiary org for the proceeds from Jamie Lynn Spears' upcoming book. We have
Right.
made the decision to decline the offer of receiving proceeds from the book sale.
Dumbest thing I've heard all week.
Right.
This is hold on. She's not a mass murderer. She is taking advantage of Britney.
Sure.
And she's timed this to the end of the conservatorship.
Right.
She even initially titled the book.
I Must Confess,
I
which
Must
was a
Confess.
Baby One More Time lyric.
and now
Out
it's
there, Shane.
and now it's Things I Should Have Said, which is
Sure.
the
Right.
same thing.
So we're all on the same
she-
page that it's a little slimy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's-
we're on the
okay,
same-
It's a worse
yes.
the
title.
timing
And-
is
And,
It's slimy.
and Britney has every right to be upset with her and mad at her
Mhm.
and even cut off the relationship. What skin off is this for the organization?
Right.
They could benefit from this, and
they
it's
could benefit big
it's not
from
it's not
this.
dirty money. It's not like it's not like a mass murderer that somehow profits and then tries to donate.
Right.
She didn't commit a crime. Look, why are they doing it? Because they're afraid of getting blasted by the Free
And I
Britney
think
people,
you're-
which is absurd.
And all that money they could have used to put towards helping people with mental illnesses
sure.
or anything like
And
that.
And there's
And now,
definitely going to be charities that say,
Well,
we'll take the money, we'll
right,
work with
but
you.
we
Why
don't
wouldn't
know
this-
if she is going to do that. She might
She
just say like, "Oh,
should.
I tried to donate it. Now I'm not."
So,
she might.
I think
She
we're all-
might.
I think
She
the-
can't just try one charity. That would look
This
terrible.
this is
So
ridiculous.
I think the bigger point is that companies and organizations, every business entity or nonprofit entity or whatever does the same thing these days. They see something, they see backlash. They
didn't even see
they
backlash,
kowtow.
but they didn't even see backlash.
They
no,
capitulate.
the Free Britney
They didn't
fans
even-
came
they
after,
didn't- nobody-
behind the scenes,
Nobody-
there might have been some backlash.
Nah, nobody said to them because I don't think people. Did you know?
Yeah, she
No.
She
She
tagged
tagged
them
it.
in her original post and said, "I'm giving the money to them." People probably
Right.
flooded
So
to their
100,
page.
so 500 people from the Free Britney movement said, "How dare you?" It's like,
We're living in a
are they controlling everybody's
yes,
life?
the answer.
Well,
I don't
then
like
it's
it.
then it's ridiculous.
I 100% agree
It's
with you. We're on the s-
ridiculous.
but we are living in a time where people and organizations and whatnot operate in fear, and that's just the reality.
And
And,
guess-
it sucks.
and
It
guess
sucks.
what?
I don't like it.
And the people who need mental health are the losers in this. They're the losers.
That's
in this.
true. It's true.
It really sucks.
Yeah.
You know what else sucks?
What?
Poor A-Rod.
This does not suck.
He
This
does
is my
suck, actually. I
favorite
100%
story.
agree with you. A-Rod does
didn't
suck.
say
Thank
that.
you for
No,
saying that. Oh, my
this is-
God.
I love this story so much.
Okay, then tell it.
Let's hear it, Kourtney.
Okay.
Lay it on
A-Rod
us.
was in Boston yesterday for the Houston.
Red Sox game.
Yeah,
For the
for the-
ALC
yes.
championship game
And when
3, I
he
believe
was
it
doing
was.
on
Yep.
Fox's pre-show talking about it, all of a
Was
sudden
it Fox or ESPN?
it was Fox.
Okay.
And then so all of a sudden the fans just from behind as he's doing the broadcast just start yelling, J Lo, J Lo, what's your favorite Ben Affleck movie?
Ugh.
So first of all,
And he's doing he's on the air.
he's
in
on the
middle of
air
this.
doing his
And
job,
it
talking
never-
baseball,
and it never
and
stops.
It never
Bostonians.
stops.
Bostonians are true to forms, being the purest Bostonians they can be.
Not true to form. Anyone would troll
Come
A-Rod
on.
like
But the fact this happened in Boston, I was like, oh my God, this is par for the course. But I will say, shout out to the Boston fans for giving A-Rod that, because first of all, his commentary, we don't have to get too deep into it, but people.
Oh, come on.
That's not why they were doing it. Was
A-Rod,
because of his
every time there's a baseball game on of national coverage and A-Rod is commenting, he's always trending. You can go see why. People are kind of slamming his commentary. But I mean, look, he lost J Lo to Ben Affleck. It is what it is.
He should have addressed this in the moment. That it would have been awesome if he turned around and he's like, you know what, J Lo, I was with her, wish her the best, or some kind of
For
acknowledgement
sure,
instead of just pretending like
No,
I
God,
can't.
you guys are
He-
so
and by the way, he
missing the point.
continues.
What's
He
the
can-
point?
No, he should have said, yeah, okay, I'll give you it. Gigli.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
terrible movie.
that was a flop.
That was a horrible
I do
movie.
No,
think
that's
there-
what he should have
Yeah.
said.
I
That
think
would
there
have
is
been
something to be
awesome.
said about the
Yes.
fact that A-Rod he has not really acknowledged properly the fact that this relationship somehow crumbled.
What is he supposed to do?
I mean,
know
just
they
say
broke
something.
up.
Come out with a podcast and just talk about it.
Why?
Why would he do that?
Brian Austin Green did this when his relationship crumbled with Megan
With
Fox,
Megan
which was
Fox, yeah.
embarrassing
But
for him.
he
It was
did
embarrassing.
It on his
It
own
was.
podcast. He did it on
And
his own
A-Rod
podcast.
should take this opportunity, seeing
Why?
how
A-Rod doesn't need
Why?
to.
in my opinion, it's embarrassing.
Do you think
It's
the
not
do-
embarrassing.
If he wants to overcome it and really
Oh,
get past it,
please.
he should say, "Listen,
I'm right there with Fabian.
right?
Oh,
Like,
if
why?
A-Rod,
I want to hear what he has to
needs
say
to
about it."
address
Hold on.
everything, or he's going to look like the fool from here on
I mean,
out.
I don't want to use this term, but he looks
if
a little bit like
A-Rod
a cuck.
just
It's-
opened his heart and said all of this, you think the people at Boston wouldn't have said what they
No,
did?
they definitely still would have.
Yeah,
they still would have
gonna
like
troll him.
100%.
But in that very moment, he should have said something.
Yeah,
Anything
a little
would have been
slick
great.
comeback or whatever. And the thing is, like, now that he knows that this will probably continue, other baseball stadiums,
Oh,
you better get a comeback ready, dude. Like, come
Yep.
on, like,
I'm telling you,
get on your
Gigli.
A game.
Gigli.
That would have been the best comeback.
It
'cause
would
that
have
was
been
a terrible,
fantastic.
terrible movie.
That's pretty bad.
That or Jersey Girl. Like, whoa. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah,
No.
but nothing's like Gigli.
Did it go to
No.
DVD?
Nothing
Probably.
is like Gigli. What
Um,
is going on with Kanye West?
So good, very good question.
You mean
Yay.
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 Ye, yes. So Kanye West has officially changed his name to Ye. He made it official in court documents and whatnot. In addition to that, though, he's just on this new tear of like a whole new identity. He's got a new haircut. He's rocking Halloween
these masks.
Halloween masks everywhere he goes, looking like a plumber walking around with like these high rain boots. It's weird.
Oh, they're Balenciaga rain boots. They're really nice.
They're not nice.
They're pretty cool.
They're like
For the
plumber
rain?
boots. Like I don't know.
The
Anyway, but
masks are
the
really
masks are
great.
weird.
That's what's-
Speaking of masks, he's also trying to get into the COVID game by plastering his new name Ye onto these sanitary face masks.
Designer face masks.
But
Whatever.
it's so late in
It's
the
late
game.
to the game for sure.
Well, let's hope it's late to the game.
Yeah.
There-
yes.
By the way,
we're hoping it
a
is.
new Delta subvariant is out.
Oh Jesus
Yikes.
Christ.
So yeah, I mean, so hopefully it is. But I don't think. By the way, I don't think face masks are going away. I mean, I
not
think
for a while.
I
A
think
lot of
because
people will keep them on.
I think like on airplanes and and big public.
We become China. Chinese people in China
been
walk
doing
around
this
with
for a
face
long
masks
time.
all the
For years.
time,
Protect
and
from
we're
the
about to be the same
pollution.
thing. But let's talk about Kanye real quick. Do we think he's spiraling? I
No.
think he might be spiraling because you look at
Why?
who walks around with he's
Look,
walking around looking like Michael Myers.
But
It's
if we-
crazy.
It's
The bad
funny.
signs for him to be spiraling are for us not hearing from him, us not seeing him,
You think so?
and
Yeah.
him not
I think the
posting.
opposite.
If
When he
he's
came
out
into this
doing
building,
his-
he was very visible and he spiraled. He was out doing the Trump stuff. He was spiraling. He was very
But
public
that's
and
part
visible
of
at the time.
him, like, and his creativity, and that's part of what people think is his genius.
It's just it's
but that's
weird.
what
It's,
Kanye thinks is and it is his
Right.
genius.
He keeps
but
taking
he's
it to the next
he
level.
is as conscious of that as anybody, and I
Sure.
think what he's trying to do, he doesn't want to do the same thing over and over and over
He's
again.
always trying to reinvent himself.
Okay,
Literally now with the name change and everything.
When two people break up, you've said this all the time, that the woman changes her look,
Right.
cuts her hair, does whatever.
You start a new you.
What's the difference between that and Kanye?
Nothing.
Well, he's always changing his look, though, even when he was with Kim.
Yeah, but
And the thing is, like, he's kind of gone back and forth. Like, is he with Kim? Is he not with Kim? For a hot second, we
It
thought
felt like they were
They were
back.
getting back together, and now all of a sudden, now they're not getting back together.
Because
So
he
it's
was
like
at that wedding, the Tiffany's.
he went to SNL with her.
owner's
So it's like,
wedding.
what the hell's going on? So now I think someone put their foot down, probably
Nope.
her, and said, look, we're not getting back together. Now I think he is not spiraling, but
he's not spiraling.
You
It's
guys,
just
she
Kanye.
came
He
out.
always takes it to a
She
next
came
level.
out wearing a wedding dress at one of his concerts.
I know, how
have-
weird is that?
I
Like,
have intel.
Oh, do
Like,
tell.
I have
Harvey.
intel.
breaking news.
I thought the same thing. I mean, I thought they were getting back together,
For sure.
or possibly they're not. They never were. She was always going to go ahead with
So
this
is it
divorce.
just a platonic mutual support thing?
And,
She
and
wanted
it's
the
the
house.
kids and they
and she still loves the guy, I'm sure,
yeah,
like to some capacity.
and it's the father of her 4 kids.
Right.
Come on, she wanted the house.
No, no.
Yes, she
Well,
wanted the
yes,
house
okay,
so bad.
Yes,
and it's like
no.
awesome
But
house.
you know why she wanted the house? Because
The kids.
yeah, but
Of
it's true.
course.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting divorced, to have to move the kids and get divorced
Right.
is
Yeah.
really traumatic.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he
she
could have
wants.
got the
So
house.
she had to sweeten up, she had to butter up Kanye basically to kind of like, hey,
I'm-
and it
That's
sounds like
what I like to think.
I'm not saying that, but maybe that's part of it. But she was always going to go forward with this divorce.
Okay.
That's what I'm told.
But just on Kanye, can we at least acknowledge that him wearing the Halloween masks is weird?
But
and
it's almost Halloween.
yes, but it's just weird. It's
It is
weird
appropriate
behavior.
People wear
for
Christmas
October.
sweaters.
By the way, if you walk into a store or a liquor store with one of these masks, you can get shot or arrested. Like you can't walk into a store with a full blown mask like that. Like
There-
that's illegal, isn't it? It seems like it should
No.
be.
It's not. It's
I
not
know.
illegal.
Is
to
it really
wear-
not?
No. And if you rob a
'Cause you could
bank,
be-
yes, but you're
you-
allowed.
It's not
There's no
illegal.
law saying you
So
can't wear a
so
mask.
you're saying I could walk into a liquor store with like a Halloween mask,
But you'll
and
have to take it off when you buy the alcohol so they can check your ID.
I want to end this with something. Over the weekend, I watched the most remarkable documentary, and it really moved me. I mean, like,
what's it on?
it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's called Untold Breaking Point. Have you guys ever heard of Marty Fish?
No.
No.
Marty Fish was the #1 tennis player in the United States in 2012. #1.
Hmm.
He didn't start out that way.
In 2012?
2012.
So
What-
recently.
Marty
Yeah. We
Marty
we were partying during that time.
Yeah,
Marty
for sure.
Fish, when he was like I think a teenager, moved in with Andy Roddick's family. Andy Roddick, the great tennis player.
Right.
And he moved in so the two of them could play together and learn the art and the craft and soar. Roddick ended up being way better at the beginning than Marty Fish. And Marty Fish was struggling. He was really struggling. And it got in his head where he just couldn't win matches. And he decided, I think he talked to a psychotherapist. It was very much like Andre Agassi, where when he did the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
But he lost 30 pounds, and he didn't ever look overweight, but he lost 30 pounds. He was this lean, mean fighting machine. And all of a sudden, he started to win over and over. He beat Roddick. He lost 9 straight times to him. He beat Roddick. I think he beat Federer.
All from losing weight?
Not just losing weight. He just changed his game. He was able to somehow focus.
So wait, the documentary. I mean, obviously,
How?
like, what's the secret?
Oh,
Like, that's what the
there's-
whole documentary is about. Like, how did he change his game? How did he get good?
That was just a part of it.
Okay.
The real core of the documentary is that in 2012, he was playing Roger Federer. He was supposed to play Roger Federer in the U.S. Open.
Okay.
And during the quarterfinals the night before, it went till like 1 a.m. He
Wow.
was struggling with mental health back then, really struggling. And he would never talk about it because he felt athletes aren't supposed to talk about it. But
Right.
somehow,
Very timely right now.
somehow, it never seeped into his tennis playing on the court. That he was able to focus on the court,
Sure.
and that never bothered him.
The best athletes can.
He looks up at the clock, and it was 1 a.m. That this match lasted a long time. And he starts thinking, oh my God, I still have to finish this match. If I win, I've got to play Federer the next day. And it got in his head.
Oh, no.
And he realized,
sad.
he said, I just can't do this.
Wow.
And he withdrew from
Aw.
his dream of being
Wait,
in
did
the,
he end up finishing the game?
No, he finished that game.
Did he win?
But he
He
withdrew from
won,
the tournament.
and he was
And then
basically.
he
supposed to play
wouldn't
Federer, and
play?
everybody was waiting for him to come out on the court with Federer, and they said Marty Fish has just pulled himself out.
Wow.
And he
so he
held-
psyched himself out.
But listen to this: he held a news conference back then
Hmm.
and opened up about his mental health struggles
Wow.
when nobody did that, and it was so moving. And his wife, by the way, her name is Stacey Gardner, who was fantastic, who was a briefcase model on Deal or No Deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she and
Just
it
like
was
Meghan
just-
Markle.
Yeah.
Guys, I am telling you, it is the most moving documentary.
So is
Did
the
he ever play again after that game?
no,
I've never heard this guy
That's
before. But is the
terrible.
idea that like he's the trailblazer for people like Naomi Osaka and
to
you
me,
know,
to me, he
Biles.
was
right?
You just never, and even Michael Phelps. It was before Michael Phelps. It is such a remarkable, moving documentary. He's heroic. I mean, it is such a great story.
at the time, the coverage was, oh, this guy had a meltdown, and there's probably a lot of speculation. But you know, you say
But he held a
came
press
out,
conference.
Okay, so he held a
and
press
he
conference,
and he laid it out, and it was just and he wasn't mincing words.
But if he was laying out and bearing his soul at the time, I imagine it was probably not as well received as it might be, you know, today. Right? And is that the kind of compare and contrast of the documentary? Is that the whole point of it, to kind of show?
That was the one thing they didn't talk about, which was, you know, with the consequence of what he did.
Yeah.
But he ended up being, I think he was the coach, or I've forgotten the word, of the U.S. Open team in 2019. So they brought him back, and it was really triumphant.
Oh, that's great.
But I'm telling you, it's the most inspirational, moving story I have seen.
Marty Fisher.
I love
Marty
that
Fish.
we
Marty
have
Fish.
been telling Harvey to watch Squid Games for the past couple weeks, and he
can't-
Is that-
refuses to watch
I
that.
haven't
don't
watched
get
it
into
either.
Squid Games.
I
Oh
can't.
my
I don't. I
gosh, you
just.
guys.
Okay, so here's the deal in Squid Game. Here's the problem.
Okay.
When I watch TV, I lay on the sofa, so I'm laying flat, and my dog Carter jumps up on my chest. And it's
Aw.
hard
get
to read
distracted.
subtitles.
Then
Yeah,
put on
yeah,
the
yeah.
English dub.
Yeah, there's the dub
I hear it's
sucks,
not good.
but it's
Yeah.
not
By the
great.
way,
That's
speak-
how
one
And
it
also,
last-
is.
you won't like Squid Game. It's not for you.
That's what I was told.
Speaking of Squid Games,
Oh,
did you guys
I-
hear that it cost less to produce that show for Netflix than it did for the Dave Chappelle special? They paid $24 million to Dave for that special. It cost him 23 point something to produce Squid Games, the entire
and Squid
series.
Games is like the
It's
number one show
it's
of all
an
time on
elaborate
them
set,
for them.
costumes. How crazy is that?
That's insane.
It is. Anyway, so
I feel so left out.
You guys need to watch it. Episode 5, the Marble episode, is the best episode in television history.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding.
high praise, high marks from
yes,
Charlie Neff.
Yes.
You have the hottest takes in the world,
I
and I
know.
can never figure you out.
Well,
Anyway,
you
good
can
old-
you can figure it out by listening to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever else you get your podcasts. And we will be back on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.